Hey everybody, it's Bethany with ABQ Creations here, and today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these crochet flowers. Now these are fantastic additions to all sorts of things like hats or scarves or blankets or anything that you want to put a little accessory onto. Homemade book covers I've seen them on. It's a fantastic idea. For this tutorial you will need yarn. I'm using Vanna's Choice and it's worsted weight. You will need a crochet hook. For today's tutorial I am using a size I. You can use smaller. If you do use smaller it will make your flower slightly smaller, so just keep that in mind. You will need a yarn needle for working in your ends. You will need a button. This one I'm not exactly certain on the size of it. It should range from an 18 to 20 millimeter. And you will need scissors. Okay, so let's get started. We want to start by chaining on 6, and I'm going to weave in my ends as I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we're going to slip stitch into our first chain. Okay, so this is going to be the center of our flower, and you could actually size up with a button and see if it'll fit right away. Okay, so now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to single crochet into that center hole that we created. Okay. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and single crochet again. Our goal is to end up with 8 of these spokes, they're called. So this counts as your first spoke. So we want 1, and then this single crochet, that counts as the second one. And then here's our third one. Okay, so we're going to continue on until we have 8 total. So we're going to chain 2 in between each one. So there would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we'll double check and count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now we're going to finish with chaining 2 more, and then we're going to connect to the second chain from our chain 4 at the beginning. So we're going to slip stitch to that. Okay, so now we're going to start creating our petals. Now the top layer only has 5 petals on it, even though we've created 8 loops now. So we're going to single crochet into this first space that we've created, and we're going to tighten that down. You always want to tighten your first single crochet and your last one in the loop. We're going to we're going to chain 1, again tightening down. Then we're going to go into our double crochets. So you're going to do 2 double crochets in that same loop. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 and single crochet to finish off that petal and tighten that down. That'll give the petals a nice little curl and it'll make them look nice and rounded. Okay, so now we're going to go into this next loop. We're going to single crochet again, tighten it down, chain 1, and now we're going to do our 2 double crochets. Oops. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 again, do a single crochet and tighten it down. Now we need to skip this space and we're actually going to go into this one. So go ahead and single crochet, chain 1, do 2 double crochets, chain 1, and a single crochet. Tighten that down. Okay, now we have 3 petals. We need 2 more yet. So I think I'm going to skip one here, and we'll go into this one, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, single crochet, tighten down. Okay, and now we're going to go into this next one to kind of even it out. So we'll single crochet, tighten it down, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet, and now we need to slip stitch down into this stitch right here. Okay, so this is the start of our flower, and you could either leave it like this, which I wouldn't do 8 spokes then, I would actually only do 5 if that's all that you wanted to do, and you could have a nice simple little flower. To continue on to the next row, we're going to chain 1, turn our flower over so we're looking at the back. So this is where we're going to start to create our back loops to go through. So you're going to come down underneath the spoke, the first spoke, and you're going to slip stitch to the first spoke, and we're going to tighten that down, and then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to come in and double crochet. We're going to double crochet into the next spoke. So we're going to go under that spoke, and then we're going to complete that double crochet. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. Then we're going to double crochet into the next spoke. I'm going to chain 2 and double crochet into the next spoke. Chain 2, double crochet into the next spoke, chain 2, and you're going to do this all the way around. Okay, so once you get around to the end and you've got all these spokes, again you want to make sure that there are 8 loops by the end of this. So to finish off and make our 8th one, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to connect here to the 3rd chain up, and we're going to do a slip stitch. So this is what it should look like on the back at this point. So now we're going to chain 1, flip our flower back over so you're looking at the front of your flower. Okay, now we're going to single crochet into that first loop we created, chain 1, and now we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to chain 1 and single crochet to finish off that petal. So now you can see that'll be our 2nd layer, and it's starting to look nice and rounded. Okay, so now we're going to go into the next petal. We're going to work in every spoke that we've created. Single crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochets, whoops, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, single crochet. So go ahead and continue that all the way around, and I'll meet back with you when you're done. I finished that 2nd row of petals. and you need to finish with a slip stitch down into the base of the first petal, so that first single crochet that you did. You're going to slip stitch, then you're going to chain 1, turn your work so you're looking at the back again, and then you're going to create another spoke on the back to work off of for your third layer of petals. Now if you want to just stop here and leave it as a 2-layer flower, that's totally fine. You can mix and match with your work and have a couple of 3-layered flowers and a couple of 2-layer and even some 1-layer, and just kind of give whatever it is you're doing a different look. But I'm just going to be having one flower on my hat, so I want to make sure that they have enough depth, and I like having all 3 layers. So again, we're going to turn our work after we've chained 1. We're going to work down into this first spoke. We're going to slip stitch to that spoke. Okay. Now we're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did try chaining 6 and I thought it was a bit much for this. 5 actually works just fine, so we'll stick with that. Then we're going to double crochet into the next, around the next spoke. So double crochet. Now we're going to chain 3 instead of 2 on that. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and double crochet around the next spoke, chain 3, double crochet around the next spoke, and we're going to continue this all the way around. Okay, so once again, once you get to the end, you need to finish with your chain 3, and then again we're going to go up into the 3rd chain at the start, and we're going to slip stitch into that. Okay, now our spokes are all set to go for our 3rd and final round, and we're going to chain 1, turn back to the front. We're going to single crochet again into that spoke, chain 1, and this time we're going to do 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we're going to end that petal with a chain 1, single crochet, pull it tight, and then we'll start on to our next. So we're going to do a single crochet, chain 1, do 4 double crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, single crochet, and pull it tight. So we're going to continue this all the way around, and I'll meet you back once it's done. I've gotten all the way around my flower, and now it's time to do my final crochet, my single crochet. Tighten it down, and then I'm going to slip stitch again to the beginning. Now I like to also chain 1 here and then slip stitch through the post in the back again, just so that that end remains hidden. Okay, so now you just need to cut your yarn, and again you can either keep that nice and long so that you can sew the flower directly onto your finished project, or you can cut it a little bit shorter like I did and weave in your ends and be done. So that's what the back looks like, and here's the front. Now it has a tendency to kind of curl up at first. You can try to flatten it down a little bit, and then you can really see all of those petals. It'll have the tendency to want to curl a little. But there's your finished flower. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Like and subscribe if you can, and I'll try to come up with some more awesome tutorials for you guys. And I will also link to the video that I'm going to put this hat onto It's going to be on my 5-point star messy bun hat, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks, guys!